What is it that the Democrat Party really wants? I'm Tim Greenwood, and this is Windows on the Word. Today's Democrat Party is no longer the same party that elected John F. Kennedy. Today's Democrat Party has come out finally into the open and proclaimed themselves as leftist, Marxist, socialists, and even a few communists. By simply looking at the legislation, the party platform, the public addresses enacted by elected officials over the last number of years, it becomes crystal clear that the cancer of progressive socialism and worse has infiltrated our local, state, and federal governments all the way to the office of the president. Their agenda is very simple: destroy traditional American Judeo-Christian morality and values, destroy all American history, divide Americans and pit them against each other, and then control everything else that is left standing after the battle. The cancer is here, and it is actively spreading rapidly throughout every political party, yes, even the Republican Party. Now, Jesus said that you would know the people by their works. So before you vote for anyone for office, you should research his or her voting record on legislation to see if they supported or allowed the progressive socialist agenda to move forward. What is that agenda? Well, this is it in a nutshell. It's pro-LGBT. Federal government sanctioned perversion and the turning of biblical morality and marriage into a mockery. Pro-abortion through the federally funded entity called Planned Parenthood, who encourage infanticide right up to the moment of birth of a fully viable, healthy child. Pro-federal control of, well, everything, including control of your Second Amendment freedom to own, have, carry, transport sufficient arms and ammunition to protect and defend both family and state from a tyrannical federal government. Now, these are not state and local regulations, but rather we're talking about federal registration for the future confiscation of your weapons, federal restrictions on ammo and firepower of weapons, all designed to diminish an individual's ability to protect and defend his or her family and their state. Now, this is also control of your kids' or grandkids' education. Now, this also, unfortunately, includes our local school boards, but primarily we're talking about federal socialist indoctrination and re-education of all of our nation's children, including forced primary school for little children. Now, this also includes your future health care. We're not talking about a contractual relationship between you and some insurance company. We're talking federal health care. Now, that's health care only if you're not too old or too young to be deemed valuable by the federal government, for the greater good. This also includes control of your savings and retirement accounts. Now, again, this isn't a contractual relationship between you and a bank, but this is the federal government theft by double taxation and confiscation. They're reducing the value of your dollars. A federal revaluation or a change of currency or rapid inflation. Now, this also includes control over your First Amendment freedoms of speech. Now, the majority can't any longer say anything denigrating about any kind of minority. But the vice versa is perfectly okay. Increasing marginalization and pressures will force churches or pastors to abdicate their historical role and responsibility to educate and enlighten the people concerning biblical morality, integrity, and good faith of candidates for elected positions. This also includes control over your safety and security. Democrat mayors are right now in the process of defunding police departments while advocating for self-avowed Marxist rioters, vandals, looters as Democrat governors release thousands of dangerous prisoners out into the cities. This also includes control over your First Amendment freedom of religious expression. We're talking about public prayer, public Bible reading, and the using of the name of Jesus in public. However, the COVID virus was released and the Democrat governors and mayors forbid churches and Bible study groups to meet in churches, homes, and even ban singing. Now, this includes control of all energy, food, and water supplies. We're not talking about a contractual relationship between you and the producer, grower, or supplier. But we're talking about federal control over what, where, and how much you can purchase, if any. Again, using the COVID virus as an excuse, Democrats have encouraged businesses to only accept credit cards and now have hinted at restricting the use of those credit cards without proof of vaccination. This also includes the control of jobs and employment. Now again, we're not talking about a contractual relationship between you and your employer, but we're talking about federal control through pseudo-federalization of corporations, railroads, U.S. car companies, unions, mines, plants, not to mention an ever-increasing number of employees working directly for the federal government. Did you realize that over 1/3 of the United States incomes right now are being paid for by the U.S. government? And this is all just for starters. Again, using the COVID virus as an excuse, Democrat governors and mayors have closed or highly restricted mom and pop stores and entrepreneur businesses, causing many, mostly Republican businesses, to close and force them to move out of that city or state, reducing the number of Republican voters there. Your traditional American Judeo-Christian values and the Constitution of the United States are obstacles to socialism, which is why they are under attack. The new Socialist Democrat Party now have embraced fully anti-Christian, Marxist, socialist ideologies. This isn't even about politics. This is about saving and restoring our American way of life. We the people must rid our governments of this cancer now before it spreads beyond the point of no return. From the city council member to the President of the United States, before you vote, make sure that there is nothing in their record which has supported or allowed any socialist agenda to move forward. And remember, one cannot negotiate or compromise with the cancer, regardless of political party. If a representative or legislator has voted or enabled even part of that cancer to remain, they have to be replaced with men and women who place traditional American Judeo-Christian values and the Constitution of the United States above their own political and financial aspirations. Unless conservative Christians retake Congress and the White House, then we may well lose everything that we hold dear. I'm asking you now to stand with me as I encourage pastors and Christian leaders to step up, stand up, and speak up for our God-given Christian values. I'm asking you to advocate and support and even campaign for godly conservative candidates for all public offices. Hey, thanks for joining us for this video. We can stay connected if you subscribe. You can be notified when the next Windows on the Word video is released. So just click on the subscribe link, click on the like button, and click on the notify bell here on the screen. And please share this video with others.